How's it going, everybody? You may not recognize me, but my name is Waddles. I wish I could get my skin over on the Bedrock edition of the game. Today I am on the Windows 10 version of the game to showcase a fully automatic, simple melon and or pumpkin farm design. Now this will work with the update Aquatic. It is pretty much a copy of the design that I showcased last week by MrKisdUrSistr. However, this design works in the Bedrock edition. I was made aware after the fact that the design I showed off was only compatible with Java edition. So just to show off the farm before I get into the tutorial here, a pumpkin or a melon will grow and then get thrown into the course of this minecart with a hopper. This minecart will run by and pick up all of the items, drop it off in the hopper, and then the items will be shot up to your collection box. So that means you could build this thing completely hidden underground and just have a chest on the surface and pick up whatever you're growing from that chest. Now, this farm is expandable just like the other design that I showed last week, and I will explain how to do that in the video here, or you could build just one unit and have that working. Additionally, I should mention that I referenced a tutorial by Zap113 to come up with this automatic dispenser circuit. I will link that video down below. I have been meaning to do some Bedrock Edition tutorials anyways, so I guess this is a good place to start. With all of that out of the way, if the tutorial helps you or you enjoy it, leave a like and consider subscribing. So to build one model of this automatic farm, you will need these items here. I have laid them out in exact numbers other than the building blocks. You don't need planks, you just need some sort of building block here. You will of course also need a hoe and some bone meal if you want to speed up the growth of your crop. Again, of course, you can use melons. Now, if you want to build the whole elevator mechanism and all of that, you will not need this chest or this hopper. This is everything you will need to gather to build that whole elevator. You'll also need building blocks, and you don't necessarily need 64 of each type of rail here. You just need rails in general, powered rails and your normal rail. So gather up these items, and then gather up these items, and then we're ready to move on to building this thing. So for the purpose of this tutorial, I will be building my farm right over here. However, do keep in mind that the whole bubble stream soul sand elevator is meant to ideally be used underground. That elevator will help move all of your items up to one single collection area. Of course, it does work on the surface like I am showing over there. So to start this farm off, you're going to want to till a block of land and then go immediately behind it and place a water source. After you've done that, plant your crop and then go ahead and bone meal it, or don't, it doesn't really matter. Next, you want to take a piston and place it right next to that water source. Finally, you need an observer facing inwards towards your crop. Your crop will be growing on this block right here. Next up, it's time for the redstone. As you might know already, if you have an observer looking at the block where a piston will be firing into, and they are hooked up on the same circuit, they can get stuck in a loop very easily. That is the point of this observer stabilizer. To build the observer stabilizer, copy what I just did right here. Finally, you're going to want to take your building blocks and run them behind your piston so this whole circuit will work. To show off what we just set up, if we had a pumpkin grow in there, the piston will fire just once and break that piston. Again, here is the circuit shown off right here. So that is it. If you wanted just one single tile of this farm, this is all you would need to do. Now, of course, you will need to prevent the pumpkin or the melon from growing anywhere else except on this block right here. So that would mean you either need to encase this farm or remove all of the other blocks where the melon or pumpkin could grow. To fully finish off this farm, you will need a collection chest and a hopper to pick up those items. Now again, this is only if you wanted to build a single tile of this farm. If you wanted to guarantee absolutely zero losses from this farm, you could go ahead and throw a minecart with a hopper in it on top of a hopper below the crop block, but we'll talk about that stuff a little bit later. So if you're going to expand your farm, you're going to want to begin doing so by running a rail line in front of all of your farms. The front is the side that the piston is pushing towards. You can run this rail line either one block below like I have done here, or on the same layer as your farms. I prefer the block below, however. You will also want a wall across from your farms. This is to prevent crops from being thrown too far and out of reach of your minecart. At the end of your rail line, you're going to want to bump up one block and turn the rail line onto a hopper. Right on top of the hopper, you want a powered rail. This hopper should be facing into a dispenser, like so right here. Now in front of that dispenser, you're going to want to leave one block alone, then place an ice, then place a soul sand. This is where the elevator will be in just a few moments. Holding your minecart on top of this hopper while it drops off the items is pretty simple. To do so, you're going to want to place a comparator coming out of the hopper and click on it once, then place a block, then place a torch coming off of that block. On top of all of that, you're going to want to place 3 more blocks like I just placed, and then place a wire running over to your rail just like I've done here. This will turn off the powered rail when there are items inside of this hopper. To make your dispenser shoot the items out, you're going to want to begin by placing 3 building blocks just like I've placed there, then place a comparator coming out of your dispenser. Click on the comparator once. Grab your redstone dust and place 1 in front of the block that the comparator is aimed into. Place 1 redstone dust directly to the left of your comparator, and place 1 final redstone dust diagonally above and to the right of your comparator. Now grab 2 repeaters and complete your circuit. You want both repeaters facing towards your hopper and dispenser, and the repeater right next to your comparator needs to be aiming into a solid block. You will also want a solid block right on top of your dispenser to hold the minecart. It's totally optional, but you may want to add a manual start and stop to the other end of your rail line. You can do so by placing some powered rails and placing a lever. If the lever is off, the minecart will not go. If it is on, it will bounce off the wall and continue on its course. So that is pretty much all of the redstone that you needed to do in this video. To prepare your elevator, place a sign right above your ice block. This sign will hold the water back from spilling into your circuit. Now you're going to want to build your elevator. If you're under the ground, you're going to want to dig all the way up to the surface above your soul sand block. If you aren't under the ground and you're on the surface like I'm doing here, you're going to want to build up however high. For me, this is plenty high enough. Now I'm going to set up my collection chest. To do so, you're going to want a hopper pointing into a chest right next to your elevator. Then continue to build blocks up around your elevator to prevent water from spilling everywhere. Don't forget to use blocks that allow you to open your chest still. After you've done this, you need a water source next to your hopper. This is going to allow the water to pour down and activate the bubble stream, as well as flow over into the hopper and move items into that hopper eventually. After doing all of that, close off your elevator and you're good. That is the whole farm itself. After a little while, your farm should begin to work and you should find your items conveniently placed in this chest for your collection. Now again, like I mentioned earlier, if you are finding the crops are not being thrown into this rail cart path, you can add another one underneath this farm here and have another minecart running on that line to pick up all of the items. You could then set up a separate collection area or a whole nother elevator just like I did here to move all of your extra items onto the surface. If you do have any more questions, you are of course more than welcome to throw them down below in the comments, and I will try my best to get back to you quickly. You could also slide into the danger chat and then send me a private message and I will help you there as well. If this tutorial helped you out or if you just enjoyed it, make sure you help me out. Drop a like on the video and subscribe. And then if you'd like to support me directly, there is a link to my Patreon down below. You get access to my Let's Play episodes early, access to a fan server, and then a little bit more. What is the next tutorial you want to see me do? Do you have a specific Bedrock Edition tutorial that you'd love to see? Tell me that down below as well. My name is Waddles. Go have a good day. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.